Good morning and welcome to the Freedom Zone, where the truth is set free, whether you like it or not. I'm your hostess, Candace, and I am here to tell you a few things that I've observed this week, and I thought you might want to listen and see if you heard those too. Yesterday we had the Democratic debacle that was the Mueller testimony. Listening to quite a bit of the testimony, I would say that Mueller didn't write any of the report. He didn't write his speech when he did his press conference. He doesn't seem, and this could have been a great dog and pony show, but he doesn't seem to be even coherent in a lot of ways. He allowed someone, we haven't found out who yet, to run the Mueller report, quote unquote, and now all the Democrats' hopes are dashed. Even though Nancy Pelosi says that there was indictable stuff in the testimony, I think she's full of hooey. So bye-bye Mueller, we're done. Don't call us, we'll call you. So we're going to go to controversial tweets. A lot of people tweet. I kind of stay away from it because I feel like those things never die. It's like the half-life of radiation or radioactive material. But the 2019 Miss World America, Kathy Zhu, who's a beautiful young lady with a brain, was stripped of her title because of offensive tweets. The first tweet that was so offensive was, "Did you know the majority of black deaths are caused by other blacks? Fix problems within your own community first before blaming others." Okay, well that makes sense to me, and I went and looked up some statistics. 93% of black homicide victims are killed by other blacks. There's 7 causes of death in the African American community: it's heart disease, cancer, strokes, accidents, diabetes, and homicide. And abortion kills more blacks than the other 7. So, okay, I think she had a point. I don't know why everybody has to get offended by the truth because, as we know, the truth hurts, but it was what it was. Her second tweet, and this one is really offensive to me too, as far as what she's saying. I agree with her. She said there was a, quote, "try on a hijab booth at my college campus. So you're telling me that it's now a fashion accessory and not a religious thing, or are you just trying to get women used to being oppressed under Islam?" She posted this on World Hijab Day in 2018. No, I don't want to try on a hijab. I'm not wearing a sheet. I'm not going to be oppressed. I'm going to walk around by myself, have a bank account, have a job without having a male person to chaperone me. And I don't appreciate the World Hijab Day. Keep your hijabs on your own head somewhere else, because I don't want one. I don't want to see other women with them. When I see them, I just want to pull them off your head because you're allowing someone to oppress you, and I don't appreciate that. So I don't understand why this lovely girl got pulled from her title, but I did see her on Fox News, and she said she would continue to fight for conservative causes that she found to be legitimate and something that she would want to fight for. Personally, I don't understand why people get so offended by the truth. It just doesn't make any sense, but that's the way it is. I don't see how this is any different between Trump's tweets and the tweets from the squad. And we know who the squad is. We know who they've got their major head cheerleader, because this isn't like a squad. In military, a squad is 13 men plus a leader, which would break down to you'd have like 7 fire teams, or 2 fire teams, 7 men each. One of those would be the leader. And that's what a squad is. Now, if you're a cheerleading squad, which I would feel like AOC is the head cheerleader, to me she looks like the type of girl that would be in like the movie The Mean Girls. And right now what we've got is the Mean Girls go to Congress. And Trump said that they should go back to where they came from and fix their place, and then come back and tell us how to do that. Okay, that's terrible according to them. They're just being mistreated. But in 2013, Talab, she tweeted out to deport this blank, blank, blank hole, referencing the president. That was okay. And she was also pulled kicking and screaming out of one of his rallies, which, you don't have to agree with everybody. You don't have to like everybody. I've held my nose and voted many times for many different offices, but you do have to respect the office that they're holding because it's part of the United States. And the squad versus Trump is really the squad versus America, because Democrats hate the United States of America. Not all, of course, but most of the left-leaning radicals, and they're more communist. They hate America. They hate everything that we stand for. Americans are hardworking people that came to this country for freedom of religion and the opportunity to worship as they please, and to work and to keep the fruits of their labor. And that's what most of us still want today. That's the problem. We expect to keep the money that we earn, and capitalism is the only situation where people can come here. As I've talked to many immigrants, they come here with $50 in their pocket and they make something of themselves, and the next thing you know, they got a house and 2 cars and are living the American dream because they work hard. But according to another Democrat, whose name is Dave Atkins, he's the regional director for California, Democratic Party, he ran a 9-thread tweet, which we're back to tweets. It seems like everybody gets something going on with a tweet, that rural Americans, such as you and me, because we live in these small towns and we love it and we don't want your bunch of jackasses around here telling us that we're not grateful enough for what we get in the United States. We're not grateful enough. What does that mean? I'm happy for everything that I've worked for and that this country has given me the opportunity to work for. How is it that we're ungrateful? This tweet came out on July 18th at David Atkins, or hashtag, I guess, David Atkins. And I would just like to know, how does insulting voters make you want to vote for them? Hillary called us deplorable. Joe Biden said we were the dregs of society. There's a guy on, he's not a political candidate, but he's on CNN, I believe. He said we were 10 teeth supporters, like we have 10 teeth in our head if we support Trump. And now Joy Reid has come up with the fact that all Trump supporters are now Nazis, and that Trump's name itself is the modern-day swastika. Isn't that bright? I tell you, I'm getting tired of the old Nazi crap. There's nothing like Nazis. We're nowhere near Nazis. There's not even a third of 0.5% of people who are like the Nazis, because these were ruthless, bloodthirsty killers. And we go back to the squad, talking about their issues, such as concentration camps. And let me tell you what concentration camps were. They provided slave labor. They did physical experiments on them. They were political prisoners and misfits. And misfits, now let's talk about misfits. That would be people who were homosexual, who had dwarfism, who had Down syndrome, who had mental retardation or challenges. Those were called misfits, and Hitler didn't want them in his society. They had death ovens and gas chambers, and they had no freedom to leave. What they talk about at the border, I'm sure if someone said, excuse me, I don't want to stay here, I'm going back to Mexico, El Salvador, Guatemala, wherever you're from, they would escort them to the border. I don't think that they're holding them without recourse of leaving if they don't want to stay in the United States. So it gets really old, the Nazi death camp We don't have death camps. The Nazi concentration camp analogy, it just doesn't work. And the squad, this is their thing. This is their thing. They got this right here, and I've got these names. It's racist, xenophobic, Nazi, white supremacist, or misogynist. This is a shield for people in the squad, and it seems to be particular to them because they're quote-unquote women of color. Okay, a lot of people are of color or women, but okay, let's just say I'm up here, I'm AOC, and I'm like 2 and 2 is 8. The Queen's from Venezuela. The theory of relativity means that it's something that somebody's related to you, and I'm spouting drivel, blah, 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 blah. You say, well, no, dear, 2 and 2 is 4. I'm like, oh, you're a racist for disagreeing with me. You're a misogynist because I'm a woman. This is like a shield. This is like they're a knight and they got it on their arm and they're going to fight with their sword. Because everything they say that is completely out in left field is allowed, because if not, and you disagree or you tell them they're wrong, you're a racist. They're not being singled out by anybody because they're women of color. There's lots and lots of people of color in Congress, in the Senate, in the government, in the world. It's because you're stupid and your ideas are not adding up or making sense. Therefore, you are not correct. So you are called out on it. Not only are you not correct, but you're radical, and you are, in the case of Ilhan Omar, you are an anti-Semite. We absolutely do not appreciate that here at all. We will not put up with that at all. Also, Rashida Tlaib is also an anti-Semite, and she hates Jews, and she talks about things like the Holocaust and all with a, it's just, the thing she says is just unreal. Alejandro Ocasio-Cortez, she just thinks she's, I guess, the queen of the prom or something, and that no one should dare cross her because she says the sky is green and grass is blue, and we should accept that on face value simply because she said so. And if not, then you're a racist or something to that effect, or you're a Nazi or a white supremacist. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. And in our next segment, we'll be talking about how not only do people like these 4 women, and I'm being polite when I say women, hate America and everything she stands for, and they hate you too. So we're going to go to break right now, and then in our next segment we'll get into that.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LOJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World. In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hello and welcome back to the Freedom Zone, where we continue to set the truth free, whether anyone likes it or not. I'm your host, Candace, and I wanted to talk to you about how the Democratic Party hate you and they hate America. And mostly they hate people like us that work. We've got our own home. We try our best to do everything. If you recall, in the Obama campaign, when he said we cling to our guns and religion, yes we do, and yes we will. As I said in the previous section, part of the show, America became America because of people, number one, who wanted to live free and worship God as they chose. Now, we have that issue today about I'm supposed to respect this and that religion. I do. I respect them, but you don't push them on me or my family, and you don't talk about it in schools, because if you won't let me talk about mine, you don't get to talk about yours. And as we know, prayer's been taken out of school for a long, long time. The thing is that these Democratic leftists, such as the Squad, quote unquote, they hate America. They hate everything it stands for. They hate the freedom of it. They hate the beauty of it. They hate the history of it. And this is another thing that's been taken out of schools, and that's our American history. I recommend that if you have a young child or children at home, please go to Williamsburg, Virginia, and go to the History of the American Revolution Museum. It's great. It's thorough. It tells you everything about how America started the American Revolutionary War and broke away from the King George and England. And these people did this because they were oppressed and they wanted to live free. They didn't want to be taxed by a monarchy and then get no representation in that country because they were living a completely separate life. Our forefathers risked life, limb, and fortune to bring about the America that we have today. Yes, at that time there was slavery. It's an abomination. Always has been. Always will be. However, these people were not doing anything different than anyone else was doing at the time. And like I said, they risked quite a lot just to be part of the revolution. I mean, Benjamin Franklin said, you know, if we don't hang together, we shall certainly hang separately. Because what they were doing was sedition, it was treason to the crown, which, you know, in a monarchy, that's all knowing, all seeing, all powerful. So American people are the original rebels. We didn't want to stay there in England and Europe. We wanted to worship the way we wanted to worship. We wanted to work the way we wanted to work. We wanted to be free. And we stand up when things are wrong. And what we have to do now as a people, between now and 2020 election and beyond, we have to stand up, because we are just an inch away from losing our country because of people like these four who hate America, and they hate you. They have an active contempt for people like you and me, because they don't think we're smart enough, like Nancy Pelosi doesn't think we're smart enough to make our own decisions, which is complete and total bull, and we know that. In a recent, on 7/20, at a welcome home party for Ilhan Omar in her home state, she called my country Somalia. Oh, I thought you were an American citizen and that you loved your country here. So is Somalia your country, or is the United States? I mean, you can't say one or the other. If you're going to say that you love America, I understand you love your roots. You know, everybody should keep up with their roots, but this is your country now. And if it's not, then we should go back to President Trump's tweet. So please go back to Somalia and fix it, because it was good people of the United States that made donations for your refugee camp where you had to go and then come here and we took care of you. So you take your little ungrateful self back if this isn't your country and you don't love it. Take yourself back and fix your country, and then you can take all your other people that came here and feel like that Somalia is their country too. The thing with these people, they want these radical ideas. They want open borders. They want to give health care to illegals. They want all these things because they're looking for chaos. Because when you have chaos, the people will be willing to embrace any ideology in order to get calm, in order to feel secure. And I'm going to bring up the example of the New York City police, where they were doused with water while they were trying to do their job. It looks like to me, when you've got Democrats like Bill de Blasio up there, that's when your police are disrespected. And if we don't have law and order, forget about it. They want to abolish ICE, they want to abolish the Border Patrol and open everything to chaos. And we can't have chaos. But that is a typical pre-communism move, is to get everything in chaos. I mean, New York City now is going to become totally lawless because they realize that the cops have no teeth. And this is so disrespectful. And I mean, this is going to become Escape from New York, like the movie that Kurt Russell played in a long time ago, if you're not careful, because the rule of law will fall away. Because there's no way that cops are going to even try to protect the people and enforce the law, because they know they're going to be humiliated, they're going to have their lives in danger, and they don't have any teeth, because they know that de Blasio will not back them up. He doesn't want rule of law, he wants chaos. Chaos leads to what they think is going to be great, which is communism. What these well-to-do and influential people don't understand, the first thing that happens in communism is that you are executed so that your stuff can be redistributed. So you think you're going to get ahead in this kind of situation and you'll be the ruling class. Well, you'll be ruling while you push up daisies, because they're not going to allow you to live. They're going to want your wealth so they can, quote unquote, redistribute it. But as I said before, we have a lot of people using the race card and using the misogynist, xenophobic. All these words are losing their teeth because they're using them like candy. They're throwing around. And as I said before, there's a lot of people, of women, that are women of color, that are men of color, people of color. And then one thing I would like to bring up that I think is pretty exciting. This is the first time ever that we have had 4, count them, 4 Native American representatives in Congress, 2 of which are women, which is the first time we've had that ever. They're very, they have not said a word. I haven't heard them say a word about being mistreated or anything. You have, this is Stacy, and God forgive me, I forgot her last name. And then we have Deb Howland. I'm sorry, her name's Sharice Davis. Thank you, Mr. Producer. She's a woman of color, and so is her associate, Deb Howland. She's a woman of color. I haven't heard them say anything about people treating them poorly because they're racist. I have read that they were working on bills for things that were important to their constituents that they were trying to get through, which, by the way, is the reason that they're there. They're supposed to work on the things that are important to their districts and their constituents. So why don't they feel like they are mistreated because they're women of color? They don't feel singled out. I haven't heard a word about them feeling singled out. So what makes the squad think that they're special? That's the thing. This is that generation, I guess millennial generation, where they feel like, you know, they're precious and they need a cookie for every little thing they do, right or wrong. They get a trophy for participating. And that's just ridiculous. You were sent to Congress or the Senate to work for me, to work for you. You don't work for yourself. Your own agenda, yes, you can pursue some of that, but the thing is, you don't work for you. You work for the people. The people. And this is the reason that so many people are so against President Trump. He has returned power back to the people. He works for the people, for the forgotten man, for the blue-collar worker. And no one can argue that our economy isn't better than it's ever been, and that people with blue-collar jobs, or the jobs are coming back for manufacturing and for many other things. He's taking care of our trade deficits so that we don't have any abuse, because we've been the piggy bank of the world for decades, especially China. I don't know what Richard Nixon did when he went over there, but couldn't have been good for us, because we've been losing out and losing jobs ever since. So the race card doesn't hold because you're not the only person of color, you're not the only women of color, and I don't hear anybody else crying like a scalded dog because somebody told them that they were incorrect, or to stand down because they were incorrect, or crazy talk. I mean, I don't know. But you're not special. The squad's not special. Our president is special because he said what I personally believe, what I think a lot of people believe. If you're not happy in this country, please, please don't let us hold you back. Go somewhere where you will be happy, because Delta is ready whenever you are. And we can send all our old suitcases to you if you need some to take back to your place or another place or any place you want to go that'll make you happy. That's the wonderful thing about the United States. It's free. It's freedom. We can do whatever we want. If you want to be an accountant, you can be an accountant. You want to be a helicopter pilot, be a helicopter pilot. If you want to go and live somewhere else, go. No one's holding you back. No one's making you do anything that you don't want to do. There's no slavery anymore in this country. Having a passport doesn't mean that's the only place you can live. You can go somewhere else and apply to be a citizen or a resident, whatever you want. But please don't let us hold you back. And when people tweet out their opinions, try to remember that they are opinions, that everyone has one, just like everyone has a behind, and that they can have an opinion, and it's okay. It's okay if they don't agree with you. The world's not coming to an end, and you'll get by. You'll be alive tomorrow, barring unforeseen tragic events, but it won't be because somebody disagreed with you. So this is Candace in the Freedom Zone, where we set the truth free. And I want you to remember that we'll be back next week, and we hope that you join me. And love our country, because this is our country, and we've got to fight for it, because we're very close to having radicals take over. Thank you, and see you next week.